coming to you with a special edition of Office Hours. Your one and only Iron Mike Stedman. Let me pull some stuff up. I know I'm catching some people off guard. It's lunchtime. But yeah, I'm here down in Austin, Texas at the Ambassador Fly-In. We've flown in volunteers from essentially all over the country to get some programming and talk about how to improve their ecosystems. So I know we got people tuning in from all over the country. Just go ahead and drop in the chat where you're dialing in from today. Right now, we're having lunch. So I got Ada Johnson coming up here soon to rap with me for a little bit. But we've got all these ambassadors out here. Check it out. Pretty cool. People are breaking bread. They're fellowshipping. They're eating. We got Team Rubicon in the building. What's up, Team Rubicon? That's what it's about. Building and developing this amazing ecosystem out here. So I don't know if you all are familiar, but none of this works without our volunteers all across the country. I mean, they're the ones that really keep the glue together in the local community. That's why it's so important that we have these opportunities to come together and break bread and fellowship with one another, and then get sent back into the whirlwind, especially in this age of distribution, digital distribution. Everyone's online all day, but there's nothing like being able to come together here in person. So while we wait for our first guest, if you all got any questions regarding Bunker Labs or entrepreneurship in general, feel free to go ahead and drop it in the chat. I'll be giving I'll be moderating a panel here in about 45 minutes or so on access to capital for underrepresented founders. So really excited to talk about that. Before that, we've had a couple sessions today. I think one of our first sessions was really just about ecosystem development. We wrapped that up. We had a talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, which went really well, particularly the strength of the military community and what we bring to the table, and how we view DEI from different lenses. And really, it's about how can we support the veteran entrepreneurs and the military spouses out here in the ecosystem. So just a lot of positivity all around. So give me a few minutes, and then we'll have our first guest up here. I think I'll be able to get two guests to kind of come chat with you all, and we'll be good from there. But in the interim, like I said, if you've got any questions, feel free to go ahead and drop them in the chat. Love to hear from you all. The lunch break. Yeah, I'm still in Ada over here, y'all. She's chowing down. It is really good. Dwight wants to know what are the requirements to join Bunker Labs. All you got to do is be a military veteran, military spouse. That's it. Let's go to the website, bunkerlabs.org. We've got all information on there. Yeah, this is your community. This is your ecosystem. Doesn't matter if you're officer, enlisted. We don't care about that. All we care about is supporting this veteran ecosystem. Just right here. I know this food is really good. Ada, what's going on? Let's see. Let's get her situated right here. We got our first guest. I'm going to get her back on the podcast, y'all. Ada, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, my name is Aida Johnson Rapp. I am a Army veteran. I am a veteran volunteer for Bunker Labs. I had been a city leader ambassador in Chicago. Now I'm a facilitator for our CEO circle, and I live in Palm Springs, California.
So I apologize for butchering your name. It was Aida, correct? So this is we've hung out in person quite a bit because you've also been a facilitator for CEO Circle. You've done some stuff with the veterans in residence. You were in the veterans in residence. What keeps you coming back to support the community?
You know, I think that veterans are special people. They commit their lives to the country, and sometimes it could be for selfish reasons. I'm not going to lie and say that at first when I joined, I was like, yes, I'm giving back. But I wanted to travel and get some education, so I did that. But while I was in, I found people who were committed to improving their own lives, the lives of their communities, and I, I enjoyed the structure, and I have a soft spot in my heart for people who sacrifice and give up their time for whatever reason to get better opportunities or to serve their country. It's all good.
We just had that session on DEI. We just wrapped it up. And one of the comments that was brought up was, how do we improve this community? And there are a lot of military veterans that, served pre 9/11. So they had already kind of transitioned out. And we want to get more of them inside of this community. And you served in the military. I think you said you enlisted in like 88, got out the first time in 93, came back in a little bit later. What are your thoughts on how to attract more older veterans to kind of join this community and feel welcome? Because I think one person brought up they often feel intimidated being around so many of the younger crowd.
I think probably to spread the message of exchange of wisdom. And I'm a person that believes wisdom exists at every age. I mean, I can learn something from a 2-year-old child just by watching them, how they maneuver through the world. Someone who has all the years of experience that I do in leadership and recreation and just living has a lot to share with a younger generation. And at the same time, people like yourself, people like some of the other entrepreneur veteran ambassadors and volunteers that are here have various experience in technology, in communication that they could share with me. So the things that I can share in terms of communication, telling your life story, feeling good about who you are, I think that I can share that with them, and they can share their knowledge of how the world is changing for them with me. So yes.
Well, let me ask you this. How did you find out about Bunker Labs?
I had a friend who actually worked for Bunker Labs, and I was in Chicago, and I worked at a very large facility that was primarily a health club, but it was also very social and hospitality oriented. So I had a big network, and they needed probably some more diversity amongst the volunteers for Bunker Labs in Chicago. And there I was, and I said, well, I don't mind. I like helping people feel good, accomplish their goals. That's what fitness people do. We help them feel good and we help them accomplish their goals. I have a master's degree in arts management, undergraduate in communication. So I'm like, that's what I do. So that's how I found out. A friend of mine invited me. Then I interviewed with a couple of bunker staff, and then they said, fine. And I became a volunteer.
Well, we appreciate you as part of this community. Let me tell y'all, she ran an awesome workout this morning. Had us out there early at 6:15, sweating like bricks. And how are you, 35, 40?
So I've been teaching fitness for 52 years. I started when I was 17. So everybody knows how to do that math.
And I just think it was great seeing everybody kind of out there. I mean, that's what this is about, right? You come together, we can feel that energy just kind of being around each other. And I thought you led a great exercise. And so before I wrap up with you, tell people about your business and how they can support, because you've given so much to the veteran, entrepreneur, military spouse community. We'd love to know how we can help support and elevate the work that you're doing outside of Bunker.
So I have a business called Aspire to Harmony, which I do multiple things, although I don't only do one thing, I eat it, but I do multiple things. I enjoy doing multiple things. So I am a wedding officiant. I'm a certified celebrant. I am a certified meditation instructor. I also do sound baths, and I also teach yoga, Pilates, and of course, fitness. So all you need to do is go to Aspire to Harmony, like my page, sign up for my blog, and I'm starting to do more blog posts. And that's all you have to do.
Appreciate it. Well, we're going to give you a shout out, and I'm going to get you on the Transition podcast to talk a little bit more about your journey. But I appreciate you joining the live show with us, and looking forward to hanging out the rest of the week. Awesome. Now I'm going to go grab another veteran entrepreneur, Mr. Aaron Caldwell. I'm waving to him over here. He's headed over. If you guys got any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Frank, come see us in San Antonio. We'll be at Greekdom tonight, I believe 6 to 8 for the Bunker Connect. So hope to see you there. Like I said, we're here all week. My man is coming suited and booted, y'all. He look way better than me. Sir, what is going on? What's going on? Appreciate you. I got to give him his flowers, y'all. I'm going to tell him a little bit, but I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce himself to our viewers.
Aaron Caldwell. I'm co-founder and COO of Faven, located in Tampa, Florida.
Awesome. And tell the people what Faven is.
So Faven is an online marketplace for retail space, and we do that by, we built a tech platform that we developed and built on our own. So we own the technology, and it matches vendors with available venue space. So similar to how Airbnb works is how the platform works.
And one of the things about that was y'all started that before the pandemic, right? So for anybody that's ever tried to organize a pop-up, it is a pain in the ass, right? Particularly for the organizers and the vendors, right? And so you basically have a platform that streamlines all that.
So essentially, you can look at it like a vendor management system, if you will, for an event management. It helps you. If you're the venue, you just create, I want to have an event on this day. These are the type of vendors I'm looking for. And the blast goes out. People apply. You can chat with them in the platform. You can see their profile, see what their ratings have been. So it kind of makes it more transparent than the way traditionally you run it now.
So one of the cool things about being part of this community and this ecosystem is you get to see people over and over. Over the few years, we've been to multiple fly-ins together. We hung out at Mick. I had breakfast with you and your wife in Chicago, right? And that's one of the things I enjoy the most about this community, because especially you start to build that time together over years, and it feels good to see each other. You dap each other up. You're like, what's up, man? You know, how you doing? And we know a lot of in our community, they kind of miss that because they're spread out into the sticks and they don't have that connectivity.
Yeah. I get questions about like basically about camaraderie and when we're going to get together and do those types of things. But, you know, in the capacity in which I'm feeling now with being a facilitator, I just don't have the time or the resources to just have, you know, just meet up and hang out with other vets or entrepreneurs. So it's important to be involved in a community like this where you do get to see one another, sharing your struggles and celebrate your successes.
So I want to talk about that a little bit. So one thing I've noticed amongst veterans in general, across the board, I see a lot of vets that are volunteer coaches, right? They are running nonprofits, and we all have our day jobs. We all have our side hustles, our businesses, etc. But as an entrepreneur, I know how difficult it is to even have the brain power and the bandwidth to give yourself to other things outside of running your own business. And not only are you an ambassador, you're a CEO Circle facilitator. You've done it also for the veterans and residents. What's your why behind doing that?
So I'm naturally, like, it took years for me to kind of become self-aware to the point I am now. But that was like number one, like trying to figure out post-military, who's Aaron really? What drives him? What motivates him? And when I got to the core of that was like what I really missed in my life after the military was like helping people, helping them take the next step, helping them figure it out, watching the light bulb go on. So for me, this is like a natural progression for me, right? Because I'm feeling like a similar role where I'm helping people take the next steps, be their best self. So I don't see it like as a big takeaway from me as much as I get back from doing it.
Now, something else I want to talk about is we've had a couple different sessions this morning. What have you enjoyed the most so far? What are you walking away with?
You know, I try to find something good from all of them. I really enjoyed the first session where they were talking about the ecosystem. And I think her name was Renee Watson talked about you need to understand budgets and finances and how the money flows and where it's flowing from if you want to be effective in like building a great ecosystem. And that was really like the key takeaway for me today thus far, because a lot of us, we're working with these business owners and they need access to capital, right? Let's just be honest. That's what most startups need. But yeah, we're not as educated enough in knowing how to really go and get them to the person that can get them the capital that they need.
My man teed me up because I'm actually going to be moderating a panel on that here in about 45 minutes or so. So that's something that always comes up: access to capital, access to capital. So like I definitely don't have a playbook, but I can tell you what kind of worked and what I've seen from the countless interviews I've done on very different platforms, and then the capital that I've also been able to raise myself. What are you looking forward to the rest of the week?
What I'm really looking forward to is connecting with some of the ambassadors in places that I haven't connected with. Normally when we come to these things, you kind of gravitate to your tribe, your crew of 4 or 5, 6 people. But I kind of want to get outside of my comfort zone a little bit and connect with some people in different areas across the country and see what benefit I could be to them and their community.
Now, I got to give Aaron his flowers, y'all, because when we had breakfast in Chicago, I said, I think I said to you that I was starting my coaching business or whatever. And you're like, man, you already been coaching. And he's like, that's what you do on the podcast. That's what you do here. And so I really kind of took that and ran with it. And I've been doing a lot more solo episodes on the Transition podcast as a result of it, man. So I just want to say I appreciate it. And that's what it's about, man. It's about lifting each other up, supporting each other. And what I try to tell people, this is your community. Like, it doesn't charge to be a part of Bunker. You just got to dedicate some time. And you've got to, what's the saying? You get out what you put in. And I think with a lot of these VSOs in general, so many veterans and mill spouses don't understand that, it's not always about what you are getting. It's like, what kind of energy are you putting out into the ecosystem? Are you picking up and calling and checking on people? Because one topic that's come up over and over again is mental health and PTSD and how many people are carrying that, underneath the surface. And a lot of people don't know that. And so what I find is, like, I've sent an entrepreneur a message and I said, my man, just see how you're doing. He literally said, Mike, thank you so much. You don't know how good it is to hear from you. I've been having a rough patch.
Yep. I heard it said many times, and it's been proven to be true in my life. Like, the things in which you think you have less of or that you need are the things in which you're supposed to give, and you'll get them back. So I think for a lot of us, we'll say we don't have the time, right? So I can't give you the time. Or we don't have the monetary resources, so I can't contribute to that. But if you give, there will be a return on those things. So a lot of us look at it like we're going to be losing, but you're going to gain tenfold.
So, Aaron, you've been helping out this community for a few years now. We appreciate you and your wife. Now, how can we give back and support the work that you're doing with Faven and your other endeavors?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So thank you for that. For us, really, go to faven.com. If you have a venue or if you're a vendor, no matter where you're located across the country, go on, sign up. It's free. Spread the word. We charge very little. Only when you make money do we make money. So the whole platform is free to use, explore. Just get the word out.
Well, I appreciate you, and it's going to be fun hanging out the rest of the week. I'm going to get them on the podcast and tell the full Faven story, but I snatched him up because he's just the epitome of what this community is about. And so I appreciate you coming on. All right, y'all. So we're going to wrap it up. But again, we're coming live today, San Antonio, with the Bunker Labs ambassadors all across the country, all across the world, just making sure that you all have this ecosystem moving forward. So make sure you head over to bunkerlabs.org, get plugged in. And if you think you have what it takes to be an ambassador, reach out and let us know. Until next time, peace, love. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.